Whew, that was tough. I made it. I've been traveling, man. I was in Singapore, and then I came home. I was home for about like 30 hours, and I went to Japan. Then I was in Japan for like 6 days, and I came home. Then I was home for like 2 days, and I headed over to Canada. So I made it over to Canada. So yeah, we made it. I survived. Naps versus Knee. Naps versus Knee is great. We watched it in Japan. There's actually a picture. Let me find the picture of this. This picture cracks me up. It happened when we were in Japan. So, we were sitting outside of this convenience store watching Naps versus Knee. If you're wondering, this right here is what we're watching it on. This tiny little... It's because Farp, the guy right here... If you guys don't know who Farp is, whoops. Farp is this guy up here. And he just had his Surface on him. And because we're in Japan, there's internet everywhere. So we were like, well, perfect. So we just cuddled around this laptop and we're watching it. And the sickest thing is, like, it wouldn't have been a true FGC experience if 20 minutes into this guy in the convenience... Steve goes to buy something in the convenience store. He comes out, and the convenience store clerk comes out in Japan. He's like, no watch. No. Leave. And we're like, all right. So we packed up and moved across the street into this park where there was a bunch of homeless people to watch Naps versus Knee, which is pretty exciting. As exciting as thinking switching moods for the 13 months. Thanks very much. So that's what we had to do. We had to move across the street, which was fine. You know, we were loitering, and we just moved across the street. We didn't miss very much. We had some investments on what counter hits were gonna land. This is fun to watch. This is a good part of the trip. Oh yeah, I played in Master Cup. That was pretty great. I was in the tournament representing Team Italy, and we didn't lose immediately. That's the most important part about this trip, is that we didn't lose right away. What do I think of Canada Cup? I mean, yeah, like for me, most of it's fine. Even if the event's like going to shit and things are going crazy, my job very rarely gets harder. You know what I mean? My job very rarely gets harder as a commentator. So I'm just chilling, right? Like, I was just waiting. I wasn't gonna do top 8 anyway, but right before top 8, they're like, yeah, we're running out of time here. This is bad. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. All right, well, that's cool. That was it, right? Steering wheel analysis. Oh my god, I forgot about Initial T. The guy is just a regular pad player, though. That's the thing. I know it's hype that he's playing on a steering wheel, but the steering wheel is a regular pad, right? Tasty Steve's welcome to the Capcom Pro Tour. That was wild. Oh my god. Do I have a clip of that?
Razer, the official Pantera Stick Capcom Cup Pro Tour. Vertigear, the official gaming chair of the Capcom Cup Pro Tour.
Victrix, the official headset of the Capcom Pro Tour. And Arcade 1-Up is the official arcade cabinet of the Capcom Pro Tour. Welcome.
It wasn't my fault. That was not my fault.
I was eating. You know what happened before the billboard started? Spencer, to be fair, it wasn't your fault, all right? Look, well, kind of. Look, man, I was like, hey, we're there like, hey, one of you guys has to do the billboards. And I was like, all right, well, how do you want to do this? And Steve's like, well, I have food. So Steve's like, I'll do it. You can eat, right? So I was like, all right, no problem. And
Well, you know, I was over here. The only reason he did the billboards is because I was eating. I was like, yeah, let me get like 3 more bites, Steve. You handle it. And I hear the official Pantera of the razor on your face that you used to shave with of the Capcom Cup. I was like, the Capcom Cup? You didn't even say Capcom Pro Tour, Steve.
It wasn't my fault.
What do you mean it wasn't your fault?
It wasn't my fault.
technically, it wasn't his fault. Technically. Because usually when we do this, we have a little section on the monitor that has all the text we have to read, right? And it's like, the Razer Pantera is the official arcade stick of the Capcom Pro Tour. But it's all written out. But really, there's only like 4 words that change in each line, right? It's like Victrix, the official headset of the Capcom Pro Tour. Insert sponsor name here is the official, insert what it is here of the Capcom Pro Tour. And this guy Steve, man, oh god. Whew. It was pretty wild. I couldn't believe it. Oh man, I was just reading something. It was almost as good as Moxie AM hitting me with the 5 months. Thanks very much. Somebody in the chat room definitely said, well, they did just legalize weed in Toronto. There was a, what's it called? there was a coffee shop right next to my hotel. In fact, the closest coffee shop to my hotel was called Cannabis and Coffee, and it was brand new. It like just opened up. As soon as weed became legal, open that bad boy up. I was like, damn, they're really catering already in Toronto, huh? Weed became legal here. They just immediately they're like, yep, this is it. Run it. We got legal weed. I was like, all right, whatever you guys say.